Alright, we are looking at figure 970 now, and the first thing we need to look at or notice is that it's pretty big numbers. It means it's going to be in metric. So I'm going to come up here and go to a new part. Once this loads up, I am going to go in the tools, document settings, units, and then change it from inches to centimeters and hit OK. Now when I look at this drawing over here to the left, I see like a big oval looking shape here, and it says that the radius is 36 of the big circles. So I'm going to come back over here, go back to my model space here. I am looking for my draw buttons. 1 second. There we go. Clicking on the circle button, I'm a radius of 36, so I'm going to click and drag out, and that's giving me the diameter right now. So if it's a diameter, 36 plus 36 would be 72. So I'm going to type 72, enter. Pretty darn big circle. It says from center point to center point is 100. So I will draw a line then from center point straight out, and I'll type in 100. I will draw another circle here at 72. I'm going to come up here and hit my trim button, and I'm going to go ahead and take this. I want to undo that. Let's hit the trim button. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to trim it. I'm going to delete it. So I am not using trim. I'm just going to select it, right click, and delete so it's gone. Now I'll draw a line from that top quadrant to the top quadrant, and I'll draw a line from the bottom quadrant to the bottom quadrant. Now I should be able to trim out that part of the circle and that part of the circle. Coming back over here, I see that we're going up at 10, but I also notice that I have a diameter of 16 here for these two small holes, so I could actually put those in as well. I'll hit the circle button again, go off that same center point, and go 16, enter. And now I'm done with my sketch, so I'm going to right click, done, right click, finish sketch. Again, it kind of puts it on the, it actually tweaked it for me there. Sometimes you got to go to orbit and tweak it that way. I'm going to hit extrude. It says, what do you want to extrude? Do you want to extrude those circles, or do you want to extrude this part of it? Obviously it's this part. And then it says 10 millimeters. I wonder if I put it on millimeters instead of centimeters a minute ago. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go back in and check that real quick. I'm going to go to Tools, Document Settings, Units. I am on centimeters. I'm not sure here. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to hit pause on the movie, and I'm going to get back with you. Alright, what I just noticed was, when I went to look at it, yes, I did extrude this at 10 millimeters. So what I can do is I'm going to come over here to my extrusion. I'm going to double click on this, and it says 10 millimeters. So what I didn't realize is that all I needed to do is swipe it, type in 10. Now it goes to 10 centimeters. You see that it's thicker here, and I'm going to hit OK. So now what I need to do is start drawing this cylinder. And I've got some different dimensions. It says a diameter of 64, and it's pointing to the biggest one. And then it's talking about this counterbore here. It says we got a diameter of 32, and then we have a 44-inch counterbore that goes down 4 deep, which means we have a 44-inch diameter that goes down 4, and then we have a 32-inch diameter that goes all the way through the part. So to start this one, I have got to right-click, go to New Sketch. I'm going to put a sketch on that face. I'm going to go ahead and let's look at that face. I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint of here to the midpoint of here, only because I want to be able to get the center point of this part right here. And I'm going to go a diameter of 64 and hit enter. and then it is extruded up at 50. So right click done, right click finish sketch, and this time I'm going to hit that orbit button and kind of tweak it a little bit so I can see it. Matter of fact, I'm also going to erase. I need to erase that line out of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on sketch 2 over here. That takes me back to that sketch, so then I can select that, right click, delete it. Now I can still right click finish sketch. Now I'm back to where I was a second ago. So to modify any of the sketches, you got to use this browser bar over here. I'm going to go back to my model space up top now. I'm going to go to extrude. I'm going to extrude this circle, and I'm going to go up 50. Alright, now I'm going to hit OK. Now I am going to do a new sketch on this face. I'm going to draw a circle off of that center point at 44 because that's the counter bore. Right click done, right click finish sketch. Now I'm going to extrude just that circle. I'm going to cut it at 4 and hit OK. Now I'm going to new sketch on that face. I'm going to draw a circle from here, and this one is the diameter of 32. Right click done, right click finish sketch. Now I can extrude that inside circle at a cut. I'm just going to type in 50 just to make sure I go far enough. And at this point, what I just created then was a hole that went all. Oh, look at that! See, I must not have went far enough. So what I'm going to do is come over here to my last extrusion, double click on it. I'm going to type 60 and hit OK. And now you can see that I did go all the way through the part. So I didn't go all the way through the part a moment ago. Alright, I'm going to tweak it around to get to this bottom side. I am going to produce a new sketch on this bottom face. I'm going to go ahead and look at the back side of it. I've got down here, it says a diameter of 58, and it says that I'm coming up at 4 again. So there's 4 right there, and it's a diameter of 58. So I'm going to draw a circle off of that center point at 58. Right click done. Right click finish sketch. I'm going to extrude that circle. I'm going to cut it at 4. Now I'm going to tweak it just a moment just to make sure that it's going in, and it did. So I'm going to hit OK. So now I've got the counter bore looking piece in the bottom of it. Now the last thing I need to do here is there's a slot out of the middle here, and that slot out of the middle is up 24 with a slot of 6. So I'm going to come back over here and orbit. Actually, I'm not going to orbit. I have got to create a work plane in the middle of this part. So back to like 967 where we created those fins, I've got to create a work plane. I think I can offset from plane. So I'm going to choose this face, and now it says, hey, how far do you want to go? Well, it was 24 it said. So I'm going to type in 24 and hit, I'm going to go negative 24. And you see how it gives me a work plane then in the middle of the part. To do that a minute ago, I hit plane and I said offset from plane. So now what I can do is I got to create a sketch on that work plane. So right click new sketch. I want to put a sketch on this work plane. Now it gives me my grid back there again. In order to put my circle in here. Does it give me my center point? I think it does. At a diameter of, I believe it's the same as the counter bore, so I'm going to go a diameter of 44. Now once again, I don't want to say it stinks, but you can't really see it very well. So I'm going to go right click finish sketch. Now when I hit extrude, I am going to cut the material at 4, and I didn't even realize that. You can kind of see the ghosty material in there. It actually selected that profile for me, which was nice, so I didn't even have to go in there and select it. And I'm cutting it at 4 because it says that, actually it's 6. I'm going to choose 6 because that's what it says right here, 6. And then when I hit OK, you can kind of tell right there that it is out of that middle part. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from here. Now you won't be able to see it from this direction because the yellow work plane's in the way. But I am done with the part, so I'm going to come up here and go to File, Save. .970, wherever you've been saving it to. Now the key here is, yes, you can't really see a groove out of the middle, but when we come in here and do our new drawing, we are going to do a base view of 970. So when I pull it down, there's that kind of like the top view of it. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to move this back up. So there's my top view. When I project from here, my front view, you can see that little slots out of there. Project my right side view and my isometric view. And right there is figure 970 completed.